The words snapped you out of your daydream, your eyes gazing up from your drink, catching sight of the man before you. A voice as smooth as honey, pretty golden eyes, and lilac-colored hair that was smoothed back in a manner that you found quite attractive. He seemed so familiar, and yet you doubt you had ever met him. You smiled at the handsome stranger, sucking in your breath and taking a sip from your glass. I guess you could say that, here to sympathize. Well, I just don't think a pretty lady such as yourself should be all alone on a night like this. That comment managed to make your cheeks heat up, a scoff leaving your lips. He was a charmer, all right. I'm sorry, have we met before? You seem so familiar, and sorry if that's weird. For a moment, it almost seemed like he was offended by your comment, his lips twitching slightly, eyebrows furrowing. But then he chuckled softly, seeming completely unbothered. Yeah, I get that a lot. I'm G1, and I work for... Oh, wait. You're that famous pop star, Trickster, right? That's so cool. I walked by one of your concerts the other night. You sounded so good. You complimented him with a smile. It felt weird knowing that you were sitting here with a celebrity and you haven't even recognized him. That's a shame. You should have gone in. I could have gotten you backstage tickets. He winked, acting as if he hadn't seen you that night, as if he hadn't tracked you down to find you in this bar, as if he wasn't planning to drug your drink the moment you looked away. That night, that fateful night, he just finished another concert with his adoring fans, and he was unsatisfied. He wanted more. He wanted his next victim. And that was when he saw you, walking across the road from him. It was like he didn't even exist. There was something about you, something that made him want, something that made him need, something that made him crave your attention. But tonight, your eyes would be on him and only him, and you would get a front row seat to his favorite performance, the after show. He could already hear your screams, your begs and pleads for him to stop. He could already see your face full of fear, your body trembling, carved up so prettily. It made him so excited. He almost spilled your drink while trying to spike it. It was a close call, but you hadn't noticed, too busy getting lost in your head and gazing off around the bar. He continued making conversation with you, slowly counting down the seconds until the fun could begin. It was only a matter of minutes for the substance to kick in, your words turning into slurred blabbering, your eyes getting all fogged up and blurry. You should be thanking him for this. You seemed much more pretty, much more happier than before. Soon enough, your eyes were growing heavy, and G1 knew he should get you out of there before you passed out in front of everyone, trying to draw the least attention to himself as he could from him. He took you by the hand, helping you stand up. You're drunk. Come on, let's get you home. The pop star put on this facade to all of those who were watching. Thank you so much for the gifted. Nene Lakes 69. Very specific, but thank you so much for the gifted. One of a caring friend, helping his drunken companion get home safe. He always did put on a great performance, after all. He had already dealt with his fans before and made sure he would go unnoticed to most, so he could get you where he wanted without any problems for now or the future. But it seemed like all of that hard work wasn't worth it due to a girl charging right at him as he slumped your now unconscious body into the backseat of his car. G1 felt some panic rush through him as the possibility of getting caught crossed his mind. Then he got a second glance of the girl and he knew everything would be all right. Young, impressionable, a fan. Oh, he would be just fine. In fact, he just found another victim. "Oh my God, Trickster, I can't believe it's you. I am such a big fan. Could I get an autograph or picture or something?" she questioned, excited. "Sure, I think I left something in my car that I could sign for you," Ji-won mumbled, pretending to rummage through his back seat, using his back to hide the contents inside his vehicle. "Is it that legendary microphone you used while performing at the..." Almost immediately, he shut her up with her rambling, slamming her head into the car and knocking her out, putting her in the back with him. Well, now he could kill two birds with one stone. The murderer laughed at the little joke he made in his head, spinning the keys in his hand and starting the car. He pressed his hands up against his wheel, grinning excitedly and barely keeping himself contained. Tonight would be one of the biggest shows he's had in a while. "Rise and shine, darling." The words echoed through your mind, pulling you out of your drugged-up haze. Your eyes slowly fluttered open, your vision becoming less blurred as you got a good look of your surroundings. You were in some sort of warehouse. It was dark and cold. Dim light bulbs illuminating the place. The cool ground under you bit at your skin, making you shudder slightly. Your whole body felt slow, like it was being weighed down, and you could barely move. Still, you managed to glance up at the man standing above you. Somewhere in your barely functioning mind, something clicked, and you recognized him. The man from the bar, the pop star, the celebrity, Ji-won himself. He was wearing different clothes now, much different from the casual outfit he was wearing at the bar. He wore a bright yellow trench coat with nothing underneath, revealing his muscular chest and stomach, along with a set of magenta-colored slacks that hung low around his waist that showed his V-line as well. The sight would be more appealing if he didn't look so terrifying, staring down at you like that, a menacing look on his face haunting you. Gathering what strength you could, you tried moving your arms and hands, but to no avail. It felt like they were stuck together. Looking up, you saw that they weren't. Your wrists were bound together by a red ribbon, the material tied to a heavy crate that kept you in place. You couldn't struggle, couldn't move, couldn't do anything. You were like a sitting duck, and he was the fox, licking his sharp teeth and preparing to eat you alive. He pulled out a few vibrant-colored throwing knives from his pocket, grinning down at you. You opened your mouth to say something, anything, that would prevent you from getting hurt. "Relax, would you? I'm not going to hurt you." "Not yet, anyways. I can't have my audience harmed. Not when the show hasn't even started." The celebrity turned to a light switch, flicking it up, and turning on the bright lights on the ceiling. The sudden luminescence hurt your eyes, making you squint. Once your eyes adjusted, you caught sight of a girl in front of you. Her arms and legs tied up to some board, her mouth gagged. Blood leaked down the side of her head and mascara. Stricken tears streamed down her face. Muffled whimpers leaving her mouth as she continued crying. "Say hello to our show's starlight, Miss Kim June." The girl's cries grew louder as she tried struggling out of her bonds, but she couldn't move. "Don't worry, you'll have your own show too later on." He winked at you, making a shiver go down your spine. So this was the true Ji-won, huh? He put on a convincing act, and you stupidly fell for it. You trusted him, you let this happen, and now someone else was going to pay for your mistakes. How could you? Somehow you managed to force words out of your sore and raw throat. "Please, don't hurt her. She's just a bystander. Take me instead, please." But your begging got you nowhere. He just ignored you. and turned to face the girl. He threw his knives up in the air, juggling them, showing them off to an invisible crowd. Looking over, he sneered at you, turning on his heel, and doing some more tricks with the knives before aiming for the girl. You both cried out, but it was too late. The blades were already thrown. 3 hit her stomach, 2 her chest, then 1 right in the middle of her throat, slicing right through her windpipe. You watched in horror as the girl choked on her own blood, slowly yet surely dying of suffocation. Trickster exclaimed with glee, bowing and thanking an audience that wasn't even there. Then he looked directly at you. Now, it's your turn. You wanted to scream, you wanted to call him a sick, sadistic bastard, a fucked up prick who would get what he deserved. But you knew you couldn't. You knew if you had any chance of getting out, you had to comply with this monster's needs. You just didn't want to die. Wait, Ji-woon, please don't hurt me. I don't want to die, I'll do anything, please. Your voice faltered, your throat throbbing in pain, as the sobs shakily escaped your mouth. He flipped his knife, tapping it against his chin as if he was deep in thought. The psychopath brought the weapon down to your face, gently wiping away the tears with his blade. You're so pretty when you cry. He paused, pushing his weapon into your cheek, the blade breaking your skin and making a small cut, before dropping it on the ground and continuing. You know, all I wanted was your attention. But now, seeing you so desperate, seeing you willing to do anything for me, I think I want something else. A lustful smirk crossed his blood-stained face, and you felt a nauseating feeling twist in your gut. You didn't want to, but if this meant you could live, then you'd do it. Ji-woon eyed your body, running his hands up and down your waist, humming to himself. So, did you enjoy the show? You nodded rapidly, eyes all big with fear. He smiled, raised his knife, and you prepared for the painful impact of it slamming into you. But it never came. Instead, he sliced your clothes, opening, tearing the fabric off you completely. The next thing you knew, you heard the sound of a belt buckle and his fly unzipping. You hesitantly stared down, angering him and making him impatient. You picked up his blade from the ground. He picked up his blade from the ground, sending you a threatening look. Almost immediately, you got the message, wrapping your mouth around his length and taking him in. Good girl, he groaned, running his fingers through your hair, grabbing the strands roughly, and forcing himself to the back of your throat. I wonder what this is about. Surely I cannot understand the context. The length? Your throat? Oh, I wonder. Surely it's fine to read. You gagged, choking, attempting to breathe as your throat closed up around him. You forced yourself to breathe through your nose, so you could actually get some oxygen in. The celebrity continued using your hair as a handle, leaning back and moaning. You attempted to bob your head, looking up with him, with those round doe eyes of yours. So cute. You're a little slut for your store, yeah. He waited for your answer and grinned when he heard a little muffled whimper escaping your lips. Oh right, your mouth's a little busy. You hated this. You hated them. But you were only doing this for your own survival. But it seemed your body felt differently. Don't worry, baby girl. Once you finish up here, I'll... Censored. Ji-woon purred, and you couldn't help but moan at his words. He censored from your noise, You like that, huh? You want me to censor until you can't walk, until you can't breathe. You could only moan in response, forcing yourself to keep your eyes open and from rolling to the back of your head. You couldn't even speak in full sentences, most of the things being incoherent babbles of pleasure and begging, and he loved it. Baby, he finally pulled out, censored all over your body. He laid you to your side, pulling you close to him while you both came down from your hunks. You felt disgusted with yourself, willing to do that just to live. It was pitiful. It was pathetic. You should have just let him kill you. Meanwhile, Ji-Hoon felt the exact opposite. He was so glad he did this, so glad he could have your attention in all the ways he wanted. He even got a new toy out of it. Grabbing a towel, the celebrity cleaned the mess off your body, putting his jacket on your shoulders and propping you up. You were too tired to stop him, letting him do whatever he was doing to you now. Undoing your binds, he put one of his knives into your hand, moving it up and pulling out his camera. Say cheeks. The flash hurt your eyes, making you blink rapidly after the photo was taken. Perfect. With a grin, he showed you the photo of you sitting beside the dead girl, a knife in hand. I think I want a new toy, so I'm going to keep you here. But if you ever get out and try telling the police about this, I'll show them this photo. It seemed he had you right where he wanted, and he had finally won. Slipping on the jacket, he turned away, dressing himself, preparing to leave. And he did, walking out and leaving you alone, naked, cold, and in the dark. You would try to escape, but you were too exhausted, your body barely able to move. So you let yourself fall into a deep sleep.